All right, so what you need to do today is you need to make sure that you're reading the agenda in your stream, which is located right here. And there's a couple things that you need to check and make sure that you've completed before you move on to the gallery frame file, which is what this video is going to talk about today. So you should have already turned in your last name shading JPEG and check it in classwork to make sure you have. You should have also turned in last name painting as a JPEG file. And when you turned in this JPEG file, there should have been a signature on the bottom left or right-hand corner of your artwork. And then you should have also completed your rubric and checklist, as well as the response. So let's go to classwork. Again, this is where you should have turned in last name shading JPEG. Make sure you've done that. This is where you should have turned in your painting project, as well as your response. Make sure you've done that. And then this is the project that we're working on today. And you can see there's two different frames that you get to choose from. And what you're going to do is you're going to think to yourself, is my artwork going to look better in a long landscape picture frame or a tall portrait picture frame? I am going to start with my goldfish first, so I'm going to download the portrait tall. I need to click on the three dots and open in a new window. I then need to download. As soon as I click on it, it should launch in Photoshop, which it has. This file is set up already to help you out. These are your directions. Here I have my fish painting. And what I ended up doing is I made a signature on its own layer. So I can quickly show you how to do that. I'm going up to Layer, New, Layer, and I'm going to name it Signature. You're going to want to use the eyedropper tool to select a color that already exists in your artwork. I'm going to go with this dark water. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit and get my bamboo tablet and my stylus pen. Go to B for brush. Check and make sure that it is a hard edge, which it is at 100%. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply write my signature. Now, this is quite large, and that's okay. And that's why I want you to create your signature on its own layer, because then you can Control T, and you can scale it down to the size that you want and rotate it to better fit within your artwork. You don't want your signature to be huge because you don't want it to be distracting to the viewer. So I would not go any larger. Whoops. I would not go any larger than that. You can use the arrow keys on your keyboard to nudge it. And again, you want to keep it off the edge, so you don't want it to be all the way on the edge of your artwork. I'm going to actually scale this just a little bit smaller, and that's perfect. Because I am done with my project, I'm going to delete my original photograph and only have my painting and signature layers. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and I'm going to go to My Desktop, My Folder, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. I'm now going to close out of this, and I'm going to do a File, Open, and I am going to open up my project. I am opening up the JPEG, Farrell Painting JPEG, because everything is completely flattened. I'm going to do Control, meaning on one layer. I'm going to do Control A to copy, to select all, Control C to copy, and I'm going to go to my portrait and Control V to paste. Now I'm going to do Control T, and holding the Shift key, I'm going to scale it to better fit in the frame. If I don't hold the Shift key, I could squish it or distort it in a way that will not look good. So that's the top of my frame. Now I'm going to hold the Shift key and scale it to the bottom. My signature on this frame is going to get cut off, so now I'm going to move it over a little bit so it better fits onto the frame. I'm going to press Enter. If you want to see what your artwork looks like in the frame, you can also lower the opacity. As you can see, my artwork does not perfectly fit my frame, so what I need to do is click on my canvas layer, W for my magic wand tool, and I'm going to select the outside. These are marching ants. I'm now going to go to my painting layer and press Delete on my keyboard, and it deletes everything outside of the frame. I'm going to do Control D to deselect, and here I have my painting. It looks like it's copied and pasted in, so I'm going to double click over here, and I'm going to turn on some effects. I'm going to go to Inner Shadow, and I'm going to make sure that it's black, which is what I want. And now I can just kind of adjust these the way how I would like. As you can see, there's a shadow here, so I want the shadow in my painting to be here. That would match. I also want to create a black outline, so I'm making a stroke. And again, I'm making sure it's only 1 pixel and the color is black. And then I can come over here and I can look and see how it looks. And I think that that looks nice. Then I would file save as this as a JPEG. And then I would do the exact same steps again for my flower. So I've already created my signature. I'm now going to do a file save as, get to my desktop folder, and I am going to name it JPEG. And I'm just going to name it Feral Painting 2 so it doesn't save over my other one, just like you guys might have multiples. And I'm pressing save. Okay. I'm going to close out of this one so it doesn't confuse me. And I'm going to file open my flower. So here I have my flower, everything is on one layer, and I'm going to go back here to classwork, and I'm going to download this one, which is the long landscape. Open in a new window, press download, and click once. So here I have it. Control A, select all, Control C, copy, landscape, the directions are right here, Control V, paste, Control T, this one's huge, so I'm going to do Control 0 and scale it in. Control 0 again, and I'm going to scale this so it is the width of the artwork. And then, in order to distort it in, I'm going to Control plus just a little, right click, distort, and using my spacebar, I'm going to go up to the corner. And what I do is I take the corner completely away, and then I tuck it back in. Using the spacebar to get that grab tool, I'm doing this corner again too. And coming over here using my spacebar, getting this corner, and spacebar, and getting that corner. I'm going to press enter, Control 0, and here I have it. Again, this one looks like, oh, and you can always clean it up, right? Click your magic wand and then go back to this and do delete. But this one, you shouldn't have to worry too much about that. Control D for deselect. And then for this one, I also want to give an inner shadow. I want the shadow to be on that side, so that's good. I already set these up. You guys might have to go through here and change some of these. And then I also want that to have that dark border. I'm going to press OK and see how that just makes it look more three-dimensional. And then I would do a file save as and also change this one to a JPEG. And that is it.